Hello, 8th graders. Hope you're doing well today. I have as my backdrop today, Truist Field, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Atlanta Braves baseball team. And this is in celebration of Sports Day, which is our Spirit Day today. And Mr. Stovall and Mr. Nance are our inspiration for today because they play sports now and did in college and high school. And we have many collegiate leaders that were on teams in high school and college and currently are still involved with sports. So shout out to all of them, to the Atlanta Braves. Have on my World Series t-shirt. I grew up in Atlanta and spent many evenings, afternoons watching the Braves play. And also a shout out to the Carolina Panthers, our home team. It's amazing that we can see Bank of America Stadium from our school each day. And so a little shout out to the Carolina Panthers. Also, if we were in school, today would be our day to enjoy the Lion King Junior musical. So I have on my Lion King pin, and I want to thank our cast and crew for all of your time and effort preparing for the musical. And I look forward, as I know our entire school community looks forward to enjoying the musical at some point in the future. So shout out to the cast and crew of the Lion King Junior musical. All right, we are continuing the greatest treasure hunt in history. As you recall, one of the Monuments Men was killed in an attack, and now they are struggling to locate a couple of priceless, if you will, works of art. And we will begin on page 174. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. We'll be at the top of page 174, first paragraph. After exchanging pleasantries, the four men took a seat around the family table. Before Posey or Kirstein could ask their first question, Bungie started recounting his experience in Paris working for Reichsmarshal Hermann Göring. Without revealing their surprise, the two monuments men sat in stunned silence and listened. Yes, it was true he had joined the Nazi Party in 1938, but he resigned the following year when he entered service in the Wehrmacht. As to his service to Göring, Alfred Rosenberg, and the Nazi looting organization, the ERR, it had but one purpose, the protection of art. Posey and Kirstein quickly realized that this was a man eager to tell his story, one that sounded rehearsed, as if Bungie had prepared it for the day of reckoning he surely knew would come. Without breaking stride, Bungie continued. When he advised the Reichsmarshal on February 5, 1941, that the confiscation of Jewish property violated the Hague Convention's rules of land warfare, Göring simply raised his hand and said, "First, it is my orders that you have to follow. You will act directly according to my orders." Bungie didn't let it go, pointing out that the German military commanders in France probably wouldn't agree with the Reichsmarshal. "Dear Bungie," Göring replied, "let me worry about that. I am the highest jurist in the state." Possessing considerable knowledge of the looting operation and those involved, Bungie's now wanted to offer his services to the Allies. He promised to share his information, including what was taken and where it could be found, in return for the chance to resume his life as an art scholar and live in peace. Posey and Kirstein looked at each other, both wanting to blurt out, "Where is the Ghent altarpiece?" Posey chose to push back a little to gauge the reaction by informing Bungie that he did not have the authority to offer any deals or assurances. After a long pause, Bungie slid his chair away from the table, stood up, and walked out of the room. Posey, despite his stone face, worried that he'd gone too far. What felt like minutes of awkward silence followed. When Bungie reappeared, he had a large bound album in his hands that he placed on top of the table in front of the Monuments Men. As he opened the album, Posey and Kirstein looked on in disbelief. Cataloged on each page were works of art stolen from France. Beside each object was the name of the artist, title of the work, its size, the price paid, and the exchange rate, and the name of the victim from whom it had been stolen. Page after page after page. Far from done, Benjay asked the two men to spread their maps on the table. He then started pointing to the places where the stolen works of art could be found, if they hadn't since been moved. The SS art scholar knew that Göring's immense collection had been removed from Karen Hall outside Berlin to another of his homes called Wildenstein in the southern state of Bavaria. But he added that it might have been relocated again. Names of art dealers in Berlin who were actively dealing in looted works followed. What about the Ghent altarpiece? Posey asked in such a manner as if to suggest that he knew the answer but wanted to see what Benjay might say. Benjay adjusted the map, placed his forefinger on it, and began moving it around, searching for a particular spot. It is here, in the salt mine in Alsace, Austria, with the other works in Hitler's collection. After more than 7 months of dead ends, the monuments men had, by persistence and luck, hit the jackpot. But getting to Alsace, 450 miles away, seemed like a pipe dream. Any route to the mountainous mining town passed through Bavaria, where U.S. Army intelligence officials believed Hitler's most die-hard followers would certainly fight to the death. By this time, the works of art might have been moved again. At this stage of the war, no one knew if Third Army and its two monuments men would be assigned that area, not even General Patton himself, and certainly not Posey and Kirstein. But they had the information they needed and much more, a veritable treasure map. So I think that's where we begin at the end of chapter 12 to understand the greatest treasure hunt in history. They needed the treasure map, and now they have it. We will begin on page 177 tomorrow. Thank you so much, 8th graders. I hope you're taking care of yourselves, and see you later. Bye now.